My name is Brian, and today I'm going to tell you a real story about my friend Theodore. This isn't easy to talk about. It's heavy, but it's important. Theodore is 57 years old now. He lives right here in California, same as me. For most of his life, he worked hard. Really hard. He thought he was doing the right thing. Now he's paying the price. Let me tell you how it happened. Theodore started working young. He had a job at a construction company. He liked building things. He was good with his hands. He met Diane when he was 25. They fell in love, got married, had two beautiful kids, Mark and Lily. Life felt full of promise back then. Theodore worked his construction job. It paid the bills. Just about. They lived simply. But they were happy. Weekends were for family picnics or fixing up their little house. Theodore coached Mark's little league team for a couple of seasons. He felt like he had it figured out. That feeling didn't last. Around the time Theodore turned 35, things started to feel tight. Money was tighter. Mark and Lily were getting older. School needs, clothes, activities. The future seemed expensive. College loomed like a giant mountain. Diane's parents made comments, subtle hints about providing more. Theodore's own brother seemed to be doing better. Theodore felt the pressure. He wanted the best for his kids. He wanted to give them everything he never had. So he made a decision. A big one. He took on a second job. He started working evenings at a big warehouse, loading trucks. His day began at 7 a.m. on the construction site. It ended at 11 p.m. at the warehouse. 6 days a week, sometimes 7. He became a machine. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. He told himself it was temporary. Just until things got easier. Life became a blur for Theodore. His world narrowed to the smell of sawdust and sweat in the morning, the clang of metal and diesel fumes at night. Diane took care of everything at home. She became the sole parent present. She went to every school play, every parent-teacher conference, every soccer game, every birthday party. Theodore missed them. All of them. He'd stumble home late, exhausted. Sometimes he'd peek into the kids' rooms. They'd be asleep. He'd kiss their foreheads, whisper goodnight. He felt a pang in his chest, but he pushed it down. I'm doing this for them, he'd tell himself. They'll understand later. Weekends? What weekends? Sunday was usually his only day off. He spent it recovering, sleeping, trying to mend his aching body, maybe mow the lawn quickly. Family outings stopped. Conversations became short bursts. How was school? Fine. Need anything? Nope. The dinner table was often quiet. Just Theodore, Diane, and maybe one kid eating reheated food. Mark and Lily learned not to expect Dad. They stopped asking him to come to things. Diane tried to bridge the gap. She'd save him a piece of birthday cake, show him photos, tell him funny stories. But Theodore was usually too tired to really listen, too focused on the next work shift. He saw the light in their eyes dim a little each year when they realized, again, he wouldn't be there. Years rolled by like heavy trucks. Mark graduated high school. Theodore got the day off from construction, but he had to work the warehouse shift. He saw Mark walk across the stage. He felt a surge of pride. Then he rushed off. He missed the big family dinner after. Lily's college graduation was similar. He was there. Barely. He looked around at the other families celebrating, hugging, laughing, taking pictures. He felt like a ghost. He took one photo with Lily. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. He went straight to work after. The emptiness inside him grew bigger. The kids moved out. Mark went east for a job. Lily settled in Oregon. The house felt cavernous, quiet, just Theodore and Diane. But the silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, laden with all the things unsaid, all the missed moments. One evening, Diane sat him down. Her face was serious, sad. Theo, she said, her voice trembling. The kids, they don't call. They don't visit. Mark barely speaks to me. Lily says she feels like she never really knew you. Theodore felt like he'd been punched. But I worked for them, he stammered. Everything I did. 2 jobs. Breaking my back. For them. Diane looked at him. Tears welled up. Theo, they didn't need 2 jobs. They needed you. They needed their father. They needed you at the science fair. At the hospital when Lily broke her arm. At the dinner table. They needed you to know them. Not just pay for things. Her words hit him like bricks. And I needed you too. I raised them alone, Theo. I was so lonely. The truth crashed over him. He saw it all clearly. The years of absence. The physical exhaustion masking emotional absence. He had built walls with his work, not a home. Diane moved out 6 months later. She said she needed space. To figure things out. Theodore was left alone. Truly alone. In the house he worked so hard to pay for. Now it felt like a tomb. He walks through the empty rooms. He sees the ghost of Mark playing catch in the yard. He hears the echo of Lily practicing piano. He sees the worn spot on the couch where Diane used to read. He feels a crushing weight of regret. He is 57. His body is worn out from decades of double shifts. His back aches constantly. His hands are rough and scarred. And his heart? It aches worse. He sits in his silent kitchen now, staring at the wall. The money he earned? It's just numbers in a bank account. Meaningless. The promotions at the warehouse? Forgotten. The overtime pay? Spent on things that brought no real joy. What he lost is priceless. The chance to see his children grow, to be a real partner to his wife, to have a life beyond the grind. The realization is a constant, dull pain. I was a provider, he whispers to the empty room. But I wasn't a father. I wasn't a husband. Not really. Theodore thinks back constantly. He tortures himself with what-ifs. What if he had just kept the one job? What if they had lived more simply? What if he had asked Diane to find part-time work when the kids were older? They could have managed. Maybe the house would have been smaller. Maybe the vacations would have been camping trips, not fancy resorts. But maybe, just maybe, they would still be a family. They could have had dinners together. Real conversations. Weekends hiking or just watching movies. He would have known his children. They would have known him. They would have felt his love, not just his financial support. He traded time for money. And now he is neither. He feels foolish. He feels angry. He feels a deep, profound sadness. He sees other men his age. Grandfathers playing with their grandkids. Couples traveling together. Retired folks enjoying hobbies. He feels like an outsider. He sacrificed everything on the altar of more, and it gave him nothing but loneliness. His life feels empty. Pointless. He worked himself into the ground for a future that vanished. The future he built with his hands doesn't include the people he built it for. They moved on. Without him. So now Theodore is stuck. He knows he made a terrible mistake. A huge, life-altering mistake. He knows it wasn't worth it. Not at all. The cost was too high. He lost his family. He lost himself in the process. He looks at his worn face in the mirror. The lines of exhaustion and regret are deep. His life feels broken. And he doesn't know how to fix it. Can it even be fixed? Is it too late? He wants to reach out. To Mark. To Lily. To Diane. But the distance feels vast. Years wide. What can he say? Sorry I missed your entire childhood? Sorry I wasn't there when you needed me? Words seem so small now. Worthless. Like his money. He sits alone in the quiet house. The silence presses in. He thinks about the years stretching ahead. More loneliness? More regret? He doesn't want that. But he doesn't know how to change it. How do you rebuild bridges you burned down decades ago through simple, constant absence? How do you make up for missed birthdays, graduations, broken arms, quiet dinners, and 1,000 little moments that make a life together? He feels paralyzed. He knows he needs to do something. Anything. But the fear of rejection is huge. What if they don't want to hear from him? What if the damage is permanent? The thought is terrifying. But so is the thought of staying silent. Of dying alone in this empty house, surrounded only by the ghosts of what could have been. Theodore sighs. A deep, shuddering sigh that comes from the very core of his tired body. He looks at his rough hands. Hands that built walls and loaded trucks. Hands that rarely held his children when they cried. Hands that rarely touched his wife with tenderness. He thinks about his choices. The relentless drive for more that cost him everything. He whispers the question that haunts him every single day. The question he asked me, his friend Brian, with tears in his eyes. What should I do now? How do I even begin to get this right? Is there even a way back? He doesn't know. The path ahead is dark, uncertain. But staying here, drowning in regret? That feels like a slow death sentence. He has to try something. But the first step feels like climbing a mountain. Alone. With no map. My friend Theodore is lost. And his story breaks my heart. He worked 2 jobs. He gave everything he had. And now he has nothing left but regret. What would you tell him to do?